Hey guys and gals, what's up? Being back again, and today we're going to be talking about another Infinity Kingdom area of the game, which is the patch notes. So we're going to switch it up a little bit today. And in the patch notes, we'll just do a quick rundown. I just want to give you some feedback, my opinion on some of the pieces, why I think some of the additions are great for the game and for all players. And let's just start at the top. So the new mode is Mysterium. Right, this is essentially kind of like a dungeon crawling experience that you can get once you hit castle level 15. It resets every 48 hours at 24:00 UTC, or for better yet, as a lot of us players that are familiar with UTC, we just call it reset, which is at 00 double colon 00 UTC. And you get 3 levels that you can choose from. Right, we'll go in game, we'll take a look here at Mysterium. We just showed off a little bit in one of our best practice videos and a previous one as well. Right, it's essentially, like I said, a dungeon crawler. You go in, you get to kill units, you get buffs, you can resurrect heroes, you can get HP heal, you also can purchase things from the Mysterium shop owner. There's also other areas, right, that you can get into where you look at things like, oh, here it is, heart, right, so yeah, you have hearts, which again, these are heals that you can get. You can look at all the immortals you have that are accessible to you, and then again, you just get a bunch of prizes, right? A bunch of free prizes, rewards, just more resources as well as you progress through. So again, I think just an overall great addition to the game, right? It's just another avenue that's going to allow for you to get more resources, more rewards to level up faster, and there's just a lot of benefits that you get from playing, and it's just another fun aspect. The number 2 is Titan Tula. Now, Titan Tula is the new kind of gnome boss, mechanical boss, that you're able to fight. And Titan Tula appears at a random location on the continent, right, at different intervals. And when it does, right, you obviously have to search for it, right? It'll spend 2 hours kind of collecting the energy, right? And then you are able to go ahead and with the seal lifted, you can start doing attacks. The cool thing I like about Titan Tula is that it gives you another avenue to practice your alliance coordination. Right, not only is it just another event where you can get some good free rewards, which are still just going to add on to helping you level up and progress faster, but one of the other aspects I really like about it is that, like, let's say you want to practice with your alliance and you guys want to figure out on, like, positioning, for example, right? So you guys want to test out, hey, let's coordinate at this time to go fight this boss, or hey, let's try and grab a bunch of them, right, sooner or earlier than others. And you can go in game, right, and let me just give you an example. Like, let's just say this is a Titan Tula, and I want to position my cities all around the boss so that my players, which is very similar to how you would do a structure, right, that my guys are closest to the boss, so that way we have the shortest march time distance to be able to constantly hit faster than other people, right? So some of these things are going to be important, and these are things you can test with your alliance, right, to do coordinated attacks, and just kind of coordinated plans out. So I really like that it adds another element to the game outside of just giving you guys some more resources and another fun event or fun thing to do in the game. The next thing is going to be server relocation. This is essentially migration for anyone that's played other kingdom builders, and there's 2 big points here. So one, with the beginners, right? This is if you have your city hall at level 8 and lower, right? So you can get your city hall to level 8 and lower. Typically in other games, sometimes it's like City Hall level 7, but for this, they upped it to City Hall level 8, which I need to correct one of the posts I made because I think I had said City Hall level 7 in one of them, but it is 8 and lower. The key part here is that you can do it from the completion of Expel Gnomes 2 to Counterattack Horn 2. What this means is that, now let's go ahead and let's take a look back in game so I can show you exactly what that means. Now, Expel Gnomes to the completion of it does start, or I should say can, if not does start, when the kingdom opens. Now, this is server 4, right? We'll show you here that server 4 opened on September 17th. You can see it right here. We are pleased to announce that Norheim 004 has opened, and you can now get jiggy with it. So, we'll take a look here at number 3 on the Chronicles, which is Expel Gnomes 2. Now, server opened on the 17th. This ended on the 20th, right? So you have to wait 3 days from a new server opening until you can migrate there. And then you have Counterattack 2, which ends on the 1st, right, of October of this year. So you essentially have about an 11 to 12 day window, give or take, where you can migrate a level 8 or City Hall level 8 or lower account to a new server. The challenge with this, and this is just a good tip, is that you can level up past City Hall level 8 in 3 days, right? So, in my opinion, I think this is great. that they added it this way, but you still get better value if you just create a new account on the newest server. You'll be able to get past City Hall level 8 probably on the first day, if not by day 2 guaranteed. This is really more, in my opinion, beneficial for the veteran tab or point here, which is King's Glory 5 completed in the Chronicle. Kingdom existed for over 90 days while at the same time never reached 1,000,000 power, right? Those veterans are qualified for relocation, right? So if you're under MMO power, again, there are some ways to inflate this, but essentially this is really what it's more for, right? It's really more for people that have higher powered accounts. The kingdom's already 90 days. Over 90 days, they've completed the Chronicle, and then you can migrate there, right? Especially if you want to join friends or alliances that are in newer servers. This, in my opinion, I think is really a bit more for the veterans when it comes to the server location migration. And then we have, right, you have the cross, others, you have the, you at least have one cross-server teleport, right? Your troops, these are just prerequisites that you have to have before. Let's get into world map now. So world map is, the world has seen a bunch of tweaks in this patch. The light burdens of players, all the towns have been removed, right? Some city occupation bonuses. So essentially what they're doing now is you now have to create your, build your cities up, right? You can upgrade them, I believe, to level 10 for each of them max, depending on where the current city level is. And then they've also taken out a couple things. Like, for example, some things that some people may not have noticed immediately is on some of like the provincial capitals that used to give you research or building speed buffs to lower those times for you are now exchanged with Immortal Attack, right? So these are some changes that some people may or may not already be familiar with. In addition, yes, they did already remove the town. So like if you zoom in, right, you just see that there's just one city per. You capture the city, and then eventually you can upgrade it to a higher level. You can see this here, and let's see if I can. So you have the construct button, right, and then you see that it says 610 level is level limit is 10, right? So it's at 6, it could go to 7, right? So it's essentially wherever that current city is starting out at its level, you can upgrade any of these to 10, right? So this one, these ones that are starting at 1 or 2, you can get those to 10. These ones that are at 8 and 9 respectively, right, you can only go up to 10 max. So again, I really like this because it just opens up another avenue for the game that you can work on with your alliance to just hopefully, again, synergize a little bit more, and then also just get a little bit more familiar with working not only as an alliance, but you can also get some better buffs from it too as well, right, as you end up upgrading it. And then from there, we have the auto raid. So auto raid, I think, is a great feature in the game. I know we talked about this in one of the previous videos, but essentially just allows for you to click on a barb and you can allocate a specific amount of resources that you want. So like here's let me just get a really low level one here that we can find. So here we go. So here's a rogue, right? I can click wherever my, oh, hang on. This is how we have to do it. I always forget. So we'll go 8, we'll go raid. And then, right, you just set how many raid attempts you want. Obviously, keep in mind that for each consecutive raid attempt, right, you're still going to lose troops. So you will have to test it a little bit to figure out how many raids you can do total before your March power is under what the amount is that you need to win that next battle. That's just so you don't end up wasting your action points. And then some feature optimizations that we'll talk about last, which is, again, right after being defeated, a brand new second win pack will be sent to you. I think that's cool because, again, it just gives you more options, especially if you're looking to spend money on the game. Or, excuse me, not for this. These are just free resources for the second win pack if your city's attacked and defeated, where you lose the siege. Elemental ore optimization, right? Elemental buffs could be stacked now. I think this is a great feature because it just really allows for, right, if we look at, oh, hang on, I have to go to troops, actually, for that. So we'll go to troops. You can look here. Right now they all stack, right? So if you have the same elemental type, right, you'll get some of these additional physical attacks, magical attack, you get defense, you also get troop HP, right, if you have 3, 4, or 5 consecutive, including your dragon. So I think this is actually a great change in my opinion, just something different that they're adding into it now that will incentivize players to not necessarily random or split their Immortal March compositions, but instead try to go with some for the same element. It still leaves it open if you want to go like 4 of the same and then you can have 1 optional. I still think that is something viable, but again, we'll probably cover that in another video. Outside of that, we just have some basic Immortal optimizations that they've done here for Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great, Cleopatra, some other ones too as well. And again, we'll probably talk about that a little bit more deep or more detailed in another video when we kind of exactly go over. But I think moving past just to like the alliance portion, right? So I think this is some great additions here as well that we are seeing, where you have the vast technology or the alliance technology in the vast territory right now has only one level 1. The number of alliance occupied cities has increased from 0 to 3, so I think that's great because now you can just occupy more. I like that they increased big family, which increases the alliance member cap from 5 to 10. That means that now instead of having a 100 player member cap, you have 150 that you can get to. Right, gems did increase. Alliance gains 1 territorial position per upgrade, so I think that's another good addition. A bunch of lore talent optimizations. I know we covered these as well in our best practice video, where we talked about some of the differences, but I do think some of these are really good in regards to the optimizations that have been made. Overall, right, with marching speed, no AP consumption, some of these are really good, right? The 2 times enchant stones, some of these additional attack ones that you can get the 2 times honor, right, if you really want that to try and buff up. Energy regen, right? I just think there's a lot of great additions here on the Lord Talent side that just add some more variation to the game. Change talent, right? This is Otherworldly Helper development for the Immortal Hall. Tower of Knowledge, some of these were changed to as well, where the damage rate on max level reduced from 100 to 75%. And then you have some better daily deals with Wishing Orbs, right? These can be redeemed in the shop. I think all in all, a lot of the changes that we saw in this patch, in my opinion, are definitely just a constant improvement. Some of them, as far as like the immortals that you'll see here for the optimizations, these are probably some that are going to have to be thoroughly tested, and why I was saying it's probably going to be better to cover in a later video. But for the most part, a lot of these are just new additions to the game, or changes that, in my opinion, I think still give a good positive outlook for things that we can hopefully look forward to and just enjoy. Now, with that being said, guys, we're at about almost 12 minutes here. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of patch notes review, and keep an eye out for my next IK video. Take care.